Hey, welcome in everyone to episode number 15 of Booth Talk. Connor Larson and Trevor Tanner back here live in studio together. I'm excited for another episode in this, beautiful studio of ours.
Yes, sir.
And this is an exciting episode, guys. It is Super Bowl 60 preview. We're filming this on Thursday night. Super Bowl's a couple of days away. We got the New England Patriots, Seattle Seahawks, and this whole episode is a Super Bowl preview. We're going to kind of break down both of these teams. We'll give our picks. We'll also give some prop bets. We're going to do the Gatorade color. We're going to do who's going to win the coin toss, who's going to be the Super Bowl MVP, and, of course, who we think is going to win Super Bowl 60. So stay tuned throughout the whole episode to get some great insight and thoughts into our minds on who we think is going to win the Super Bowl and what it takes for each team to do so. Before we get into it, like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Check out, we just did another interview with Benji Nudo. That went great.
Yes, sir.
What were your thoughts on that one, man?
Talking to Benji, it's like we just met him, and it feels like we've known him for a long time. Like that
Yeah,
dude is a great talker. He's great to have on the pod. He wants to come back on, let them back on again. But yeah, it was a great interview. If you haven't checked it out, check it out.
Yeah, so go check out that one. It's on the channel, most recent video besides this one. And like we mentioned, go follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. Everything is in the description down below. So,
Exclusive content on Instagram as well.
yeah, exclusive.
Just did a mic'd up, so make sure you check that one out.
Yeah, that was a pretty good mic'd up. Trev did a great job
Appreciate
on
you.
that one. And we have more interviews coming up in the future. So this is the place to be. Got a lot of stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. But today, Super Bowl 60 is on Sunday. Patriots, Seahawks, both teams 14-3. Both teams, the Patriots were the number 2 seed, but the Seahawks the number 1 seed. Kind of a rematch of a Super Bowl we saw a couple of years ago. Well, I guess more than a couple of years ago at this point, when it was Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, the infamous, pass at the 1-yard line that got picked off by Malcolm Butler. And now we're here.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, Drake May, Seattle favored by -4.5 in this game. We're not going to give our pick just yet, but when you look at this matchup, when you think of this game on Sunday, what are some of the first things that are popping into your mind, Trev?
Well, first thing was that last rematch, or the rematch now, but the first time we saw these two teams go at it a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl, and they asked, I don't know if you saw Mike McDonald,
Yeah.
you had 30 seconds on the 1-yard line, you running or passing it, and he goes, how many timeouts do I have? No, no. I know Seahawks fans are trembling right now. They don't want to see a repeat. Okay, that's not the answer that they want to hear. They want to hear, I'm going to run the ball. I'm going to hand it off. This one, I'm leaning one way, but I could see it. Obviously each Super Bowl, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the big thing is going to be the quarterback play on how these two guys can handle it. It's both of their first times in the Super Bowl. So, Sam Darnold, does he have a typical Sam Darnold game like what we saw in the past? Because it could get ugly. Can Drake May really step up? Is he the top 5 quarterback everyone's saying that he is? I don't think so, but yeah.
Yeah, so we'll kind of break down. I'll do the Patriots, and then Trev will break down Seattle. Both these teams went 14-3 during the regular season. The Patriots, the talk throughout the course of the year was, they didn't play anybody, and they really didn't. When you look throughout their schedule and just who they played 3 teams that finished over 500, and they actually only won one of those games. They lost 2 of them, lost to the Bills and the Steelers. The other win was against the Buffalo Bills because they split that series between those 2 teams. This Patriots team is really, really good. Obviously, through the playoffs to this point, they beat your Chargers in a 16-3 battle. I know you probably don't want to
You just had to bring that up, yeah.
Just had to itch the wound a little bit more there. They beat Houston at home as well against a great defense in the Texans. And then they beat the Broncos 2 weeks ago in the snow, in the blizzard, on the road by 3 points, 10-7.
Against Jarrett Stidham.
Now, before Do you think if Bo Nix is in that game, I know we're getting a little sidetracked here, but if Bo Nix is in that game, do you think it's a different outcome?
100%. Well, I think now obviously like the snow.
What kind of dumb question is that, Connor? Of course it's a different outcome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to correct myself. Of course.
I mean, like obviously the snow had a big factor in it, but I think like he would have been able to lead them down to at least one more score.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't think New England's that strong of a team. I'm gonna say it. You know, and I'll get into like kind of supporting their case a little later, but yeah, they had the easiest path to the Super Bowl I think we've ever seen, at least in the last 10, 15 years.
Sure. Look, they didn't play anybody during the regular season. Obviously, these 3 playoff teams are great teams that they have played already. I think one of the biggest tests of a defense they're going to play against on Sunday with the Seahawks is you can look in what they did against Houston, which is probably, and even the Broncos to an extent, but I'll just look at Houston for this example. Like Houston's probably the second closest defense to Seattle in terms of just overall talent and what they've done this season. And look, it took a horrible game from C.J. Stroud for the Patriots to really pull away with that win. It was kind of a back and forth affair. It was really close throughout the first half, but C.J. Stroud played very, very bad. When we're looking at the stats of this team, the offense for the Patriots is really good. Number 2 in points per game, a 3rd in total yards, they're top 10 in basically every offensive statistic, almost top 5. Their rushing is 6th in the National Football League. And defensively, they're right there as well. This is a great defense. You know, they got Christian Gonzalez, Harold Landry, Milton Williams. So this defense has a lot of guys on it, and they've been playing really well this postseason run. I don't know. Does their defense stand out to you? I think it's a pretty good group.
I think New England's defense, especially their secondary, is what could cause problems for Seattle. You know, just looking back, like at the Charger game, like they locked us up, you know, and I think if they can scheme it up, obviously they're going against a really good receiver in JSN. So that's going to be a tough task for Christian Gonzalez, who I would hope they have him mirroring him. No matter where he goes, you want your best guy on their best guy.
Yeah.
So I really think like if the Patriots secondary can show out, it could cause problems for Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, the way that their defense has been playing throughout the postseason has been phenomenal. I mean, they beat up the Chargers, as you mentioned. They did their thing against Houston and against C.J. Stroud, forcing him to make a bunch of turnovers and bad plays, and then they did just enough to get by Denver. And now they're going to go against the Seattle offense that's very, very high-powered. Offensively, when we look at the Patriots, they're led by Drake May, who I think actually we find out who's going to win MVP tonight when we're recording this.
Oh, that's
I
right.
believe NFL Honors is tonight.
Yeah, it should be Stafford, right?
Yeah, it should be Stafford.
It's got to be Stafford.
So Drake May will probably finish second unless they shock us and he's the MVP, which I don't see happening.
No.
Drake May had a great year, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He was sacked 47 times, which I have a note down here, which is, let me find it. Don't worry. Sacked the 4th highest most in the NFL this season. And he's been sacked 15 times in the playoffs already. So the offensive line, and especially that left side with Will Campbell, has been kind of a rocky spot for New England. Their playmakers, look, Stephon Diggs has been balling out this season, but you look at the other weapons in the wide receiver room, Kayshon Boutte, they got Hunter Henry at tight end. But I think besides Drake May's success, the biggest area they're going to have to really excel at is that run game with Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, I think this Patriots team is just really young compared to Seattle. Like, you look at Seattle, they have a lot of veterans and a lot of proven guys. And then you look at New England, and a lot of their key guys on offense are all still on rookie deals, which, you know, is a good and a bad thing. Obviously, I mean, you mentioned it, the left side with Will Campbell. He's had his ups and downs this year. When he goes against really good competition, which he will this weekend, he's had a tough time. Like against Denver, he didn't play all that great. I think he struggled, but then later on in the game with that snow, he kind of got masked a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then you look outside of Stephon Diggs and Stevenson, pretty much everyone is, within their first 4 years of the NFL. Drake May, Demario Douglas. You have the most hyped up wide receiver 4, Matt Collins out there. Which
with his bare feet.
Yeah, just talk about a publicity stunt.
Did you see? I saw. I think it was today. Apparently, he hasn't ate a vegetable in like 5 years.
What? See, that dude is just like, he just wants to be on camera. Like, he knows that his play doesn't do anything, so he just goes out there and just says the most wildest stuff. The only thing that I do like is that the Warriors, and because we did that back in high school, because we would play a team, and their name was the Warriors.
Yeah.
And the coaches would always write on the board, Warriors come out to play. I didn't know what that meant for the longest time until I saw the clip, and then that came out, and everyone's like, what is this from? I was like, I know what that's from. So that was kind of tough. I'm not going to lie. He should do that on Sunday. That's probably the only camera time he's going to get. But
yeah, for sure. I guess we can kind of, well, before we bounce over to Seattle, Mike Vrabel, in his first year as the head coach of the Patriots, his former team, has obviously turned this team around like no other. They were 4-13 last year. Now they're 13-4. They're in the Super Bowl. Or sorry, they were 3-14 last year. Now they're 14-3 this year, and they're in the Super Bowl. Just the turnaround that he's had. I mean, he's such a great coach, and to be able to flip, a pretty similar team. Yeah, they brought in Milton Williams. They've seen success out of Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and Travion Henderson. But it's kind of like a similar core group, at least, to last season. And now to make this jump to be in the Super Bowl is quite the surprise, to be honest, out of the Patriots.
Yeah, I think Vrabel might be one of like my favorite coaches in the NFL outside of like Harbaugh, obviously. But just I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. The former player coaches, I think, is like the new wave in the NFL. Like they seem to be able to like turn a locker room around and really get the guys going. Like they know what it's like. They've been in their shoes before.
Yeah.
And I think the players relate to that. Because it's a little different when you have some dude that's never been in the league trying to tell you what to do. But when you have a guy like Mike Vrabel, like he's done it. He's won Super Bowls. He's been in this spot before. I think he deserves a lot of credit to the Patriots' success. And if they win it, he should be a huge factor on why they got here and why they ended up winning it.
Yeah, no, we'll move over to Seattle now. I'll let you kind of run through what you want to with the Seahawks this season and their success that has led them to be in Super Bowl 60.
Sorry, Connor's got a Mac, all right? He's got money. I don't. All right. I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
I don't know how to scroll.
I don't. Okay. Something I want to touch on. I think if Seattle wants to really be successful on Sunday, I think that first half, you got to ground and pound, establish the run. Everyone's going to expect you to go out and air it out, so they're going to be sitting back. If you can just pound it, with Kenneth Walker, and I think Charbonnet's out, isn't he?
Yeah, Charbonnet's
out, so that's unfortunate. But Kenneth Walker should get a lot of touches in that first half if you plan it out right. I know, like, you're going to want to see the deep ball. You're going to want to see JSN involved early.
Yeah.
I think he gets his looks in the second half. The big thing I think Seattle should focus on is the run game. Make them try to stack the box and try to stop the run. That's when you hit him with the play action. That's when you hit him with JSN deep. Get him open. You got to get them to almost forget about, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, all your weapons on the outside. I don't want to see them just go air it out right away. Their offense has been rolling, especially second half. They played a lot of quality opponents. They played the Rams. They beat them in overtime on Thursday night. And then, saw them again in the conference championship. 8 in total yards per game, 8 in passing yards, 11 in rushing yards, 123 per game. That's got to be up this weekend, in my opinion. Like I just mentioned earlier. And then third in points per game, 28.4. That's a lot of points, man.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some. You look through their schedule. I mean, they've had some high-scoring games throughout the course of the year, and especially I think the biggest thing to look at for Seattle is how they've played to close out the season. They went on a fat winning streak to end the year. They beat the Rams. They beat the Niners twice in basically 2 weeks and held them to, 9 points?
Yeah.
No touchdowns, I believe, in those two games.
All field goals.
All field goals, 9 points. and Seattle's gotten rolling at the right time, and obviously the best area of their team is the defense. I mean, you look top to bottom, from the D line to the secondary, this defense is elite. From Devon Witherspoon, Leonard Williams, Eman Wari, who injured his ankle this week in practice. This is actually kind of a big injury. Injured his practice, at least tweaked it, rolled it, is what he said on Wednesday. Now, they're saying he's going to play on Sunday. Personally, I don't care if I got a torn ACL. I'm playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, in the Super Bowl, I'm playing. So I think he'll be out there. He's been one of their best defensive players. But what they've been able to do defensively this season, and they bring over Mike McDonald. He comes over last year for the first time. They just barely missed the playoffs. I think they had like 10 wins. They just missed it with Geno. Booed him out of town. Continue to stack up on that defense, and now they're right here in the Super Bowl, and their defense is dominant. I mean, it is so hard to beat this team and to really outmatch them on that defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about being dominant on defense. Number 6 in total yards, 3rd in rushing yards allowed, number 1 in points allowed, 17 compared to the 28 they're putting up on average.
Man,
it's gonna be a tough game for Drake May. Second year in the league, I don't know. Against a team like this, it's gonna be tough for him without stars on the outside. I think Drake May is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong.
100%. Yeah.
But it's just what he has around him. I just don't think they'll be able. I think Seattle just outmatches them in every aspect. If you try to run it, they're gonna have the box stacked up. They're gonna be able to just overpower you, and then I dare you to throw it. Tariq Woolen, and then they just have a bunch of guys in the secondary that can make plays, force turnovers, and that first half is really going to determine offensively, can you establish the run? Defensively, force a couple turnovers, you could really wrap this game up before halftime.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've seen, especially with like establishing the run. Well, before I get to that, Drake May hasn't seen a defense to this level. I mean, Houston, great defense. The Broncos, great defense as well. But this Seattle defense is insanely good. Like, they're levels ahead of both of those two teams, which have top 5, top 3 defenses. Like, the gap between Seattle and those other two is incredible. And like you mentioned, for a rookie, second-year quarterback, first time in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, on the biggest stage to go against this defense with all these stars is going to be a challenge for him. For Seattle, as you mentioned, establishing the run early is going to have to happen. Like, they're going to have to really force New England, like you said, to stack the box and look for the run. And then you're not going to forget about JSN, right? Because it's likely that Christian Gonzalez is going to be matched up on him majority of the game. I think a big X factor for them offensively is Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, right? So he's a guy that, look, he's not to the level that he was a couple of years ago with the Rams, but he is a champion. He has been here, done that in the Super Bowl, and he's shown up in big time moments. Like, he's a guy for Sam Darnold. If JSN's covered, if the other guys aren't open, AJ Barner at the tight end position, or if Shaheed's out there, like, it's gonna go to Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp's able to make these catches, able to keep his feet in bounds, and able to pick up yards after the catch. And it's gonna be him, JSN, Kenneth Walker, who's been running the ball like crazy this postseason, and then can Sam Darnold just execute? Because he went toe-to-toe with Matthew Stafford 2 weeks ago and played great. And we just got to make sure, he's got to make sure, hey, I can't turn the ball over. I can't give away freebies. I just need to go out there and just execute like I've done all postseason long.
Yeah, exactly. Turnover, big thing. We saw the first matchup between the Rams, he had 4 picks, and they still barely lost that game. You can't put yourself in that situation. He's done a great job later in the season and in this postseason run protecting the football. So that's why, like, establish that run. Don't even give him the chance. Don't let him get nervous, see ghosts, as he's mentioned before. Establish that run. Let him get comfortable. Give him a little bit of a lead, and then let him air it out a little bit. Someone else he mentioned, Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
X factor.
Interlinked. Yeah.
all the time.
You know, I know a lot of people, a lot of you viewers, which just comment this, by the way, but you think that we're brothers. I know I had some crazy remarks last week, you know, some suspect remarks.
Clip it.
But we are pretty, you know, synced up,
Yeah.
interlinked. You know, we know what the other person's thinking before we even say it.
And we've only known each other for like a year, and we we already know what the other one's thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, getting back to it, Rashid Shaheed. I mean, going back to that San Francisco game, he houses the opening kickoff, and that's just such like a momentum killer for San Francisco. You're on the sideline, you're hyped up. We're in the playoffs. Let's go. And you just see him probably not even run down the sideline. It's just like a blur. Yeah, just go past you because that dude is fast, man. My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, that what a pickup for Seattle midseason trade. You know, we saw what he did in New Orleans, but just the state of New Orleans right now, I don't think they really were able to unlock his potential. And then he goes over to Seattle, and it's just like, whoa. Like, the stuff he can do, he can beat you over the top. And then in special teams, I mean, there's three facets of the game, and he's been a huge part of Seattle's success in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, not only the kickoff return for a touchdown, which, just like you said, it just guts your heart. It just rips it out. I mean, first play of the game, we're in the playoffs, we're hyped up, and just like that, you're already down 7-0. The game was pretty much, you know, Seattle already took that big jump at that point. But also the punt return touchdown on that Thursday night game against the Rams. I mean, that changed the whole flow of the game, right? The Rams were up big with like 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then a punt return touchdown from Shaheed, and the Rams just started letting it go. But that really changed the course of the game. And the Sam Darnold-Shaheed connection is still in progress, right? Shaheed's been really great on special teams. He's been diverse in their passing and in their running game. And there was, I think he connected to him in that NFC Championship game. Shaheed went over the top, just straight, you know, on a go route, basically. And Darnold found him there, and he almost scored for a touchdown. So Shaheed is a guy that, look, you might not count on him as a number 1 or 2 option, or even the third option on the offensive side in the passing game. But when you can't let him sneak through the cracks. I mean, that dude's fast, and he's going to get open. And if he's open and the ball and Sam Darnold throws a dot, that's a touchdown. And then the same thing goes for special teams. Like, you gotta get those tackles. You can't let open holes be there for him, and he's going to take it. Otherwise, he's going to, you know, go and take it to the house.
I mean, honestly, like, if I'm the special teams coordinator for New England, don't even kick it to him. I'd rather take the penalty than allow him to
spot
return
the ball. You know, wherever they're spotting it now, the 30, the 20.
Yeah.
You just spot the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you're making a huge mistake kicking it to Shaheed. If it's a punt, kick that thing out of bounds. If it's a kickoff, if he's on the right side, kick it all the way to the left. Don't even give him the opportunity. I mean, that's going to be that could be, you know, what ends up happening. Like you mentioned, that Thursday night game, they were down 2 scores with 5 minutes left. Everyone thought they were out of it. And then he just flips the game with that punt return touchdown. And all of a sudden, they're back in it. They end up winning in overtime. Ends up giving them the 1 seed, you know, NFC West champs. So, yeah.
All right, so, I mean, I guess we could kind of go through the fun, you know, prop bets.
Mm-hmm.
We could give what does each team need to do to win.
Yep.
Before we give our picks, do we want to give our picks relatively soon or right at the end? What do you want to do?
We can do it towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you want to do next? Odds or what does each team need to do to win?
Let's keep it going.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you coming up with it on the fly, guys? You're seeing basically behind the scenes right here.
Yeah.
We'll start with the Patriots. In your eyes, what needs to go right? What do the Patriots need to do to be Super Bowl champions and host another Lombardi trophy on Sunday night?
I think number 1 is protect Drake May.
Yeah.
He's a young guy. He's going to need time. Don't let him get stressed out in the pocket. Don't let him, you know, get flustered, start making bad decisions, all of that. And if you're Drake May, don't be afraid to run a little bit. You know, you saw it against the Chargers. You know, Chris Collinsworth pointed it out every time. He's using his legs.
was a good impersonation.
You like that?
Yeah, not bad.
Here's a guy.
Here's a guy.
Yeah, so Drake May, use your legs a little bit, but, stay comfortable. Will Campbell, protect your guy. Offensive line, protect your guy. Let him, don't try to air it out too much, get what you can underneath. And then, Henderson, I feel like he's got to have a big game. And then don't lose sight of JSN and don't lose sight of Cooper Kupp. I think those are your big things. You lock those guys down. You keep Kenneth Walker under control. You have a chance to win on Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of what you said is, definitely what they got to do. And Drake May's got to use his legs, right? When he's scrambling, when he's rolling out, when he's on the move with his legs, he's able to extend drives. I mean, we saw him. He won the game. He ended the game. I think it was like a third down run that he made against the Broncos, first down, game over. Like, he needs to be able to run with his legs, which is going to be hard to do against this Seattle defense. But, if they're focusing on, like you mentioned, Kenneth Walker, JSN, Cooper Kupp, and the opportunities there for Drake May to get, 5, 10, 15 yards, like, he's got to be able to take that every single time. New England, defensively, they've been really good in the box, stopping the run, holding their opponents defensively this postseason, even getting to the quarterback at times. I think that's a part that just has to continue for them. And a guy that's really got to step up for New England is Carlton Davis. He's been targeted a lot this postseason. He's given up a handful of big plays and yards, and it's just he's given up 13 receptions for 167 yards and 4 touchdowns this regular season. And look, he's on the opposite side of Christian Gonzalez. He's probably matched up against maybe not Cooper Kupp, possibly, but that third receiver on the outside for Seattle. So it's the defense that needs to just continue to match. They need to continue to play at the level they've been at, and even try and match the Seahawks in terms of just the physicality that they're playing with out there on that side of the ball. And then Drake May's got to use his legs. What about for Seattle? What do you think Seattle's got to do to win this game?
Yeah, I touched on the first thing. You really got to establish the run.
Yeah.
Make them, again, like you said, not forget about him. You're not going to forget about a guy like JSN, but get them a little relaxed on them. Try to stack the box. Have some linebackers line up with your tight ends, with your running backs, with your slot guys, and that's when you're really going to hurt them, because they're so worried about the run because you're just running it down their throat all game long, and then you get mismatches. This is when it can really open up the entire offense for you. And then the other thing is just get in Drake May's face all game long. I think they have the defensive line to do it. They have a lot of veterans there. Make guys like Will Campbell and that interior line feel uncomfortable all game long.
Yeah.
Make them, keep Henderson in so he can't be a factor in the pass game. He's got to stay in the block. You got to have Hunter Henry, 1-2, and then go run on his route, which is going to limit the time for Drake May. He's not going to be able to get as deep down the field. I think that's a big thing. Get in Drake May's face, establish the run, really play trench work football, and I think they can be victorious on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle does a lot of things really, really good. Defensively, I mean, they got to put pressure, you mentioned, on that offensive line. And I mean, if you target Will Campbell, who has been, like we mentioned throughout the course of this episode, he's been hit or miss, right? He can be really, really good, and he has the potential to be a great left tackle in the NFL for a long time. But at the same time, like, when you're matched up against a star edge rusher, a star tackle, whoever's coming up and coming at you, like, he's let up a lot of sacks this year. He's really that weak link on that offensive line for the Patriots. If you're Seattle, you're targeting this young rookie tackle. You want to honestly, I think you want to force Drake May to stay in the pocket as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Seattle does great and that they've got to continue to do is just disguise their coverages. I put the note here, they love to play 2 deep safety, shells pre-snap, and it's going to force a young second-year quarterback like Drake May to really not know what is coming at him until after the snap. And then he's going to have to be forced to really go through his reads and his progressions. And by time, you might not have a lot of time to do that. with the shakiness of the offensive line at times, and then the pass rush that's coming at you. Like Drake May is going to have a lot of things he's going to have to facilitate. And if you're Seattle, you want to just put as much pressure on that young quarterback as possible. And then offensively, we touched on the running game. We touched on this and that. It's Sam Darnold. The NFL is a quarterback's league. And it comes down to which quarterback can make the plays in the Super Bowl to win a team the game. And look, you can be carried by your defense. And Sam Darnold, you could argue, has been carried by his defense to some regard. I think he's had a great year. But it's going to come down to can Sam Darnold not turn the ball over, and can he make the right throw at the right time? Right? It's not about, always taking the deep shot and making the big plays. It's what is the coverage? Who is open? Who can I give the ball to? Do I hand it off to Kenneth Walker? Just not turning the ball over and not giving the Patriots more opportunities to put points on the board. Those are really the biggest X factors and biggest things that Seattle needs to do to be Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, one thing that you said, I think you said something like in the Super Bowl, you got to have a good quarterback, and the better quarterback wins. That's the only thing I kind of disagree with. I think in the Super Bowl, that's the one thing where the quarterback doesn't always win the game.
I agree. I mean, the better quarterback hasn't always won. You can look at that historically.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
We all know who's the better QB.
Yeah. I mean, Eli Manning beat him twice, and that wasn't because he did anything special.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on that. No. Sorry, yeah.
But, I mean, but like the quarterback makes the biggest, one of the bigger impacts on the 100%, game, right? And if Sam Darnold has like if he throws 2 picks in the first half, or a pick in the first half and an untimely pick in the second half, like who knows what the outcome of that is?
No doubt. Yeah. But I just think he has enough pieces around him, special teams wise, and then on the defensive side where they can make up if he has a below average performance. But I do agree, if he goes out there and just completely shits the bucket, like this could get ugly for Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, look, week 10, it might have been week 11, I don't know, against the Rams when Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
They lost that game 21-19. So, like, they were still in the game despite his 4 interceptions. So,
and that just shows how good Seattle is.
Yeah, that's just credit to their team all around. And
it's a great team. I mean, that's a playoff team in the Rams, Yeah. And your quarterback had a bad game. I mean, flat out. And you still lost by 2 points against a divisional opponent. You were still in the game. That's just where I think Seattle just really trumps the Patriots in this game.
Yeah, I agree. Before we get to our picks, we're going to run through a couple of betting odds and props. We'll start with the Super Bowl MVP. Right now, Sam Darnold's the favorite, plus 115. Then Drake May, JSN, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson, Stephon Diggs, some long shots. If we'll say if Seattle wins, if New England wins, who are your Super Bowl MVPs? Do you think it's just the quarterbacks, or do you think are you going to go with like a surprise guy who might have a great game?
I don't really know if it's a surprise guy, but it's not a quarterback. I think if Seattle wins, I think Jason will win MVP. I've been talking about the run game a lot, but that's just to get him open. I mean, we see, what do you have, 1,800 yards this year nearly, 10 touchdowns. He's had those big games. I think this is his moment where he goes out there, he balls out. I think stat line, he has over 100 yards, somewhere around 8 catches, a couple touchdowns. And I think it'll be one that kind of puts the game away, where it's like, okay, yeah, Sam Darnold played good, but JSN was really the reason why. And just his run after the catch ability is really, he could turn a 15-yard pass into a 40-yard touchdown. He has that ability to just take over with the ball in his hands, just give him the rock. Just give him the rock and he's going to make the play. So I think if Seattle wins, I think JSN is MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he had 10 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. So, I mean, he's going to rack up the numbers if given the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
For Seattle, I'll pick a different guy. I won't just go right with you. I'll say Kenneth Walker. The way that he has been running the football this postseason and throughout the course of the year, over 1,000 yards rushing. And look, he's going to have to do a lot more because they don't have Charbonnet, who is kind of their go-to guy at the goal line in the red zone. But Kenneth Walker's been on a tear. I think he's going to eat. Look, the Patriots' defensive, the way that they've been stopping the run this postseason is really, really good. They're a tough team to run the football against. But Kenneth Walker is a beast, and I think it's, if the ball's on the 1 yard line in this game, I think Kenneth Walker's getting it. I don't think they're throwing it. I don't think they're going to
hope so.
Yeah, certainly hope that's the case. So I'll take Kenneth Walker if for Seattle to be the Super Bowl MVP. For New England, that's kind of tough. I'll go with Drake May.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like a committee thing for New England. I feel like yeah, Diggs could have a great game. Stevenson, Henderson. Maybe it's a defensive guy, but I just think Drake May is probably the likely guy if New England wins the Super Bowl to be the MVP.
Yeah, I'll pick someone different just for entertainment purposes. I do agree with you. Like, if New England wins, it should go to Drake May.
Yeah.
But just to play devil's advocate, I'll go with the defensive guy. I'll go with Christian Gonzalez.
Okay.
I think if New England wins, a lot of that will be because the defense forced turnovers. He's going to be trying to feed JSN. Christian Gonzalez should be matched up with him. Maybe gets a couple picks. House is one, maybe. Who knows? That would be crazy. If this hits, clip that, all right? But, yeah, it probably is Drake May if New England wins. But just the other big factor would be the defense, and I think it would be Christian Gonzalez.
For sure. We got a couple fun ones before we get to our who we think is going to win Super Bowl 60. National anthem, over-under line is at 119.5 seconds.
Do we know who's singing it this year?
I believe it's Charlie Puth.
Oh, okay.
And I see you again.
Don't quit your day job, Connor.
Yeah.
Okay. Over, under.
See, okay, I should have looked at the last couple of ones.
Yeah.
I'll look that up real quick.
I'll go with the over. Just like from the couple of songs I've heard from him, I'm not anywhere near a Charlie Puth fan. But I think he'll kind of drag out a couple lyrics, especially towards the end. They always seem to drag it out, and I think it'll hit the over.
All right, so last year we had John Batiste.
Who?
Exactly. He went 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Then we had Reba McEntire. I didn't even know she did the national anthem a couple years ago. 1:36. That's fast. She was running through that thing.
Yeah.
Then we had the legendary Chris Stapleton one. Absolutely beautiful. I'd probably listen to that daily. 2 minutes and a second. So then we have Charlie Puth. So 119.5 seconds is the over-under line. You're taking the over on that one?
I'm taking the over.
I feel like I'm just going to... I'm going to take the under.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point we kind of just have to. I'll take the under on that one. Of under 100. We're going to be timing that.
Yes, because for those of you that don't know, these props that we're doing, there's a little wager on Sunday because we're watching this game together. So, there will be a punishment for whoever loses these bets. So we're not just saying it. Like, these will be upheld on Sunday at 3:30 during the Super Bowl.
I feel like the coin toss odds are kind of self-explanatory. It's 50-50.
Is it? No.
Really? No way. I guess we could pick two things. Heads or tails, and who wins the toss.
Okay.
The heads or tails one is kind of just for personal pride, but...
Yeah. I mean, really. Yeah. I'll go, shout out Randy Moss, give me tails. Tails never fails. If you know, you know. You ain't played the PlayStation game like us. You always got to pick tails. I just showed Connor that clip last week.
Yeah.
He had no clue what that was. Legendary clip. They don't play the PlayStation like us, man. You always pick tails. Yeah, tails never fails, man. You always got to go with tails. I think, dude, it's just like, you just got to pick. I'll go with New England wins
New
the
England's
toss.
the visitor team, so they get the...
They get to choose?
Yeah.
I'll go with New England.
All right. I'll pick tails. I'm not doing heads, bro. Come on now.
It's gonna be heads. Watch.
Yeah, right. It's
gonna be heads.
I'll take tails, but Seattle will win the toss.
So you're saying New England's gonna pick heads?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that'd be an L pick.
I might have cooked myself. Gatorade bath.
Mm,
I think this is one of the funner ones.
yeah, I think it's been orange pretty consistently, right? Is that
See,
the
that's
favorite?
another thing I should have looked up. Last Super Bowl Gatorade colors.
Yeah, I think it's been orange predominantly.
Shout out Google AI. Okay. So we've had back-to-back years of purple,
Okay,
and then we had 2 years in a row of blue,
okay.
and then we had orange. So the leading favorite in the clubhouse is orange plus 225.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have yellow / lime
Mm-hmm.
plus 260. Tied with blue at plus 260. Purple plus 750. Red or pink plus 1100. I don't think it's purple.
I don't think it's
there's
purple.
no way they're going 3 years in a row of purple.
Yeah,
Because they went blue, purple, right? Orange is the favorite. Is that too easy to pick?
I'm stuck between two. I wanna hear you go first.
All right. I'm going to say it's yellow.
Okay,
I think they're going to go lemon lime, classic yellow Gatorade.
best flavor by the way.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Hey, yes sir.
Yeah, I think it's that one. Blue kind of makes sense because both teams have blue.
Yeah,
But I don't think they're going to do that because
it's too obvious.
it's too obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll take the yellow.
I was stuck between lemon, lime, yellow, whatever you want to call it, and blue, just because the yellow. I guess you can kind of say it's kind of Seattle color,
Sure.
and then blue, just obviously both teams. Since you picked lemon, lime, I'll go blue.
Okay.
Those are the two I was stuck between.
It's going to be freaking orange and
It's
gonna
gonna
be a push.
It's gonna be white, bro. Watch. It's gonna be like glacier
Yeah,
freeze.
Clear was one of the when I was looking on FanDuel. Clear was one of the options,
Mhm.
and it was like the same odds as red or pink. I was like, brother, not just never have I've never seen it be clear. I don't even think it's ever been
Yeah.
clear at any point. Are there any other bets that we should make on pod for Sunday?
Let's over under. We can do over under, and then obviously cover who we think. Because what's the spread at 4.5?
Yeah.
Seattle.
Are there any guests that Bad Bunny could bring out that we could?
Oh,
J Balvin.
you know who I think he might bring out? Okay, we should each give a person who we think he's gonna bring out.
Oh, shoot, I don't. Who could he possibly bring out?
I think surprise guest, Drake. They have a song together, and I saw a video of them doing tests, and he was testing with the song that has Drake in it.
That'd be crazy.
Drake needs to do a whole halftime show himself. That should be next year. If he comes out, that'd be sick.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun, dun.
that'd be hard. That'd be sick.
That'd be tough. I'm interested. Okay, in one of my classes yesterday, professor's like, rank the Super Bowl halftime shows since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the best one? I said, well, what do you think it is?
The one in LA
Yeah,
with all the
that's
rappers.
what I said.
That without a doubt. That was the only one I watched in the past. Probably the only one I watched. Period.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was kind of tempted to give the J-Lo Shakira one too. That one was pretty good.
I wonder why.
That one was pretty good.
I wonder why. Was it because of the music?
They make music.
They saw. They were singing.
No, but bro, the Usher one. Look, all you old heads out there, sorry.
Yeah.
The Usher one was trash. How does that dude get a Super Bowl halftime show in 2024?
Yeah, dude. I feel like the NFL just like I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring new audiences in.
They're trying to get as many people as possible.
Yes.
But like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? Like, bring out a Drake. You brought out Kendrick. Was
Yeah.
it last year?
Yeah, last year.
Last year, I didn't like that one.
That one was overrated.
Drake on top, but bring out a Drake. What I would love to see when Tennessee gets their new stadium, Morgan Wallen, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's so many when Tennessee gets theirs, there's
Yeah.
so many options you can choose.
Yeah, I think it'll just be like in LA where they did like all the LA rappers. I think it'll be like that. Like you'll see, you know, I can't think of the top of my head, but all those country stars.
Yeah.
You know,
Chris
the
Stapleton.
past and the new. I think
Yeah.
that would be pretty cool.
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs.
I don't know if they're necessarily Tennessee, but
Yeah, but
country.
it's the country music capital of the world. I think
Yeah.
is what they call it.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, special guest Drake is my guess. That'd be sick next year. Please do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know many Bad Bunny songs.
Come on, Connor, you're not tapped in?
I'm not really that tapped in.
Mm.
I don't really know who he makes music with besides a Drake song or J Balvin.
Everybody knows I'm tapped in with the Spanish music. Come on
I
now.
wonder why.
How you doing?
What were the other ones you wanted to do? The over under.
Over under, yeah.
Let's see what was that set at? Got it right here. What did the line change?
Mm.
Whoa.
Uh-oh, Vegas.
Whoa. Hold on.
Vegas is already conspiring. What's going on here?
Let's pull it up on
Well, while Connor's doing that, yeah, make sure you check out Instagram, booth_talk_. Just dropped a mic'd up video with my barber. Shout out Nate Blends. Check that out. That was a lot of fun to do. Some new content. Got another interview coming next week.
Yeah, it'll be me doing it. Trevor's won't be available for he's got some things in his schedule, so he won't be able to do
Personal
that episode.
reasons, yeah.
Free my boy. I can cut that.
You keep it in. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't even think she watches. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely not this far in the episode, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, the line didn't change. I don't know why it looked like it did for a second. So it's still 4.5. Give me Seattle minus 4.5.
Now I gotta pick that.
You
New
don't
England's gonna
have
cover.
to.
Well, it's just more fun like that for our friendly wager on Sunday.
Sure.
It's gonna be more fun.
Sure.
So I'll say New England covers, but I am picking Seattle to win. Let's not mistake that. We can pick the same for that. I think Seattle's gonna win.
Yeah.
But for this, I'll take New England will cover.
All right, over-under is at 45.5. I'll let you go first.
I'll take the over. I think Seattle will run it up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be over as well.
Yeah.
I'm same with you there. So you kind of just,
This guy.
bro. I'm not gonna pick the under on that one.
I'm over here for entertainment, okay? I'm trying to be a good...
We got a whole lot of other bets we
Host.
can make during the course of the game.
We will. We're going to do like every first down.
All right, so you kind of just said your pick. Seahawks winning the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
We kind of explained a lot, but maybe just give a final summary as to why you have the Seahawks winning.
I just think all around they're just the better team. Like, you look at their roster up and down, and they're also just more battle-tested than New England is.
Yeah.
They've had a tougher schedule. They play in probably the best division in football, at least one of the best divisions. And they've come back in a lot of games. They've blown out a lot of good teams, like San Francisco in the playoffs. I think it's Seattle all the way. Like I said a couple weeks ago, when we saw who the conference championship was, I think you and I both agreed, like, the NFC will win the Super Bowl. Whether it was Seattle, New England, Seattle, Denver, LA, New England, LA, Denver, the NFC was going to win, and I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. Picking the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. I think they're just the better team, and I don't think it's. I hate to say it, and especially because if it gets clipped, I'm gonna look stupid. But I don't think they're relatively close in terms of the levels of these teams. I think New England's got a great team over there, a great quarterback who maybe a couple years down the road is better than Sam Darnold. But the Seahawks defense is the best defense in football. They're going to put so much pressure on Drake May and this Patriots offense. And Sam Darnold's a different player than he was, a couple years ago. Like, I think last year in Minnesota, we saw just the start and what he's done in Seattle with these weapons, JSN, the game he's going to have, Mike McDonald. Give me the Seahawks in a game that I don't think is relatively going to be close. I really don't.
neither.
That's why I picked the over. I think New England can score, a couple of times. I think they'll get their points, but I think Seattle's just going to kind of run the table and win this Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think, like, this sounds crazy, but, like, 31-14, or sorry, 38-14,
Ooh, score predictions. Okay.
38-17. I don't think it's going to be close, to be honest.
So what's your pick for score?
I'm going to go 38-17 Seattle.
I'm going to go 34. Man, I don't want to pick the same number.
Count
as
them
you.
down, count them down.
34-16.
16. It's an interesting score.
It is.
Okay.
Very interesting.
There we go.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning into this episode. Pretty long one, just talking about one topic, but it is the big game on Sunday. Make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at booth_talk_. On TikTok, booth_talk_pod, I believe.
Yeah.
It's in the description. Check that out over there. Like we said, go check out the Benji Nudo interview that we just did. Go check out Trev's Barber mic'd up basketball thing. Great video as well. And we'll be back for another episode. We'll recap the Super Bowl, get a look into the offseason and what else is happening around the sports world as we have one final game of football.
And then 7 long months after that.
Yep. But it's been a good episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl in the comment section down below. I better see at least one comment when I come and look a little bit later. Please leave a like, subscribe. We'll see y'all later.